Hello, and welcome to another session of the Mastermind Book Club. I'm CEO David Diaz, and here to my right is Reggie Hilliard, and to my left, Chaz Culmer. We are the Mastermind Book Club, and today we are reviewing a book called This System Replaces Every Useless Goal, done by Audiobook Zone. I'd like to call on Reggie Hilliard to give his first impressions on what he heard on this book.
Hello, everyone. Reggie Hilliard at the Mastermind Book Club. This book, in short, touches on systems, what are systems? Systems like, if we know McDonald's has a system, plenty of organizations, companies, franchises, whatever, they have systems, which basically take the guesswork out of you having to do much. Because what a system does is it's almost like automatic, right? So that you don't have to think too much. All you have to do is plug and play, right? And we could do the same thing with our lives. We can just set up systems which come in the form of habits, and other ways that we can make it such that our life becomes a lot easier, or not even necessarily easier, as it could be a level of easier. It's just that you will just get to doing the work without having to think, without having to really put much effort into it in terms of like, well, what's next and what's this and what's that, because it's already there for you laid out, but it's something you set up. And once you set it up, it takes all the guesswork out, right? And you can have, some things in play and some things in place to make sure that you're, giving yourself some grace, making sure you give yourself a pat on the back and things like that is necessary, to keep you going. But it just means that you do it regardless of feelings, regardless of emotions, regardless of weather, regardless of anything. It's just you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. And ultimately, what is that going to do? It's going to yield some type of levels of results. So in actuality, what we have there in terms of a system is something that you do, or you do so much that you're no longer really doing it. You're just being it. You become it, and it's a form of action you're taking, whether daily, whether weekly, whether how often you do it, where you just keep going and you make it such that you move towards whatever those goals are.
Reggie Hilliard, thank you. And that's true. You have to keep moving to whatever those goals are. That's very important. Now I'd like to call on our next mastermind, Chaz Culmer.
Oh, hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Mastermind Book Club. Systems versus your goals. I'm going to piggyback off of what Reg said. Your goals are your thoughts that are things you want to do. Your goals are what you may write down. Your goals are maybe your plans. But systems, as Reggie was saying, like McDonald's, they have a system. That means there's something in place that applies to action. Systems apply action, just like if you want to be efficient early in the morning, you set your clothes out the day before. You may make your lunch. And if you do this repeatedly and consistently, that will be your system. I have a system in which I'm looking to reduce my caloric intake. So I walk every day. That's part of my system. It's part of my system to make sure I don't take in too many calories a day and stay away from sweets and sugar for right now until I can get to a certain goal. But none of that will be achieved, or the goal wouldn't be achieved until I apply a system. Also, just one other quick note, the book talks about, I guess, you looking at other people. What may work for some people may not work for you. Some other people's systems you may try to fit yourself into, and it won't work for you. You have to generate your own systems that you will be comfortable with, something that will fit you. This is an awesome book, and I highly recommend it. Not to just to go through, but go through it a few times, because the system relies on consistency, and habits sometimes rely on, uh, I guess, rituals. But if you follow a system, your systems can lead you to greatness and your goals accomplished. Systems mean action. Thank you.
Systems need action. Thank you, Chaz Culmer. Now, you both pointed out to something, and but you left me some space to say this. Number one is, whatever you try to do in life, it doesn't has to be exactly like the left or the right person next to you, or the person that you're listening to on some social media space. What do I mean by that? If they're used to writing a journal and it doesn't work for you, just as somewhat what Reggie and Charles said, you don't have to if it's not for you, but you should try it and see if it is. I've tried some things and they haven't worked, and I haven't kept down with them. I've thought about them, but I haven't paid much mind until this book came around. The reality is, you don't have to do everything. You just have to do certain things to get to where you have to be. And one of those is, maybe writing a book is for you. Maybe it's not. Maybe communication is for you. Maybe it's not. It depends on you. Whatever choices you make, those are the ones that you should follow through on. Systems versus goals. Most of us have goals in the world. Most of us have goals. However, we don't have a system in place to get to those goals. We do think about the goal and we know what we might have to do, but we don't have a specific system where daily or regularly we implement a certain task to get us to there. So having a system in place makes it easier to achieve these goals. Just as Chaz said about his healthy lifestyle, and just as Reggie said about his personal lifestyle. Now, I just want to add one more thing in reference to that, is that no matter what you want in life, you have to do something. So, for example, if you want to invest in the stock market and you're not investing regularly, then that's not really for you. You have to be on it regularly. I check my investments regularly. I was going to check them this week and I checked them yesterday. I checked them the day before. Do I make an investment daily? No, I do not. But I check them because I want to see where they are, where they stand. I don't have to be on top of it. I don't have to make a change. I should be investing regularly, but because I'm investing in other areas, I choose not to invest directly in the stock market. However, as you're aware, whatever it is you want to do, you should be part of. Don't just say it. Don't just say you want to be a millionaire. Don't just say you want to be a billionaire. Don't just say you want to be a trillionaire. You got to do something to get you there. It could be saving quarters. It could be saving pennies. It could be saving dollars. It depends on your goal, lifestyle, or whatever you can achieve. Now, I'd like to ask our members here 2 questions. I'm going to start out with question number 1. Who wants to go first, Reggie or Charles?
Charles.
Charles.
Okay.
So the first question is in reference to goals and systems. What do you currently have in place? System, I mean, you already spoke about food, so I hope you don't speak about that one. What other goal or system do you have in place for your life?
One goal is to really have fun. I'm really looking forward to have fun. So the system that I'm using to, I guess, enhance my life at the young age of 61 that I had just turned, um, I'm looking to take more trips. So the action I'm applying is, I search the internet. I talk to people about different ventures that they've been on, different places that they visited. And talk with family. Family members may want to visit certain places. In February, I'm looking to go to Africa for the first time. So that's a system that I'm putting into play, how to pay for it, how to get my visa, how to get the physical requirements for this trip. It doesn't have to be really, the book talks about, it doesn't have to be in depth. It could be something small that leads to, I guess, your goal being accomplished, because once again, use the word consistency. You're doing it over and over and over again. So that's one of the systems that I'm looking to put in place because I like to travel.
Thank you, Chaz Culmer. Reggie Hilliard, what system or goals do you have in place right now?
I've been at this for a while. The system, one of the major systems I have in place is consistency. So I'm a supermodel of consistency. And in that consistency, it's exercising daily. It's reading a lot. It's listening to a lot of audios, whether audio books or just audios. It's taking in a lot of just data that's related to, and also sharing posts and quotes and things that I make that are centered around self-development, helping people at different levels of like with their health and wellness. I also, on the consistency, is like I do a lot of self-care because I want to be the model and am the model of excellence for people around me to work towards being that person who can really shine and be able to help others to shine. So I really take that role on very seriously. I also exercise. I exercise daily. I stretch daily. I watch what I eat. I might have said that. Um, just a lot of things tied to just coming into the world daily with excellence. I wake up early often and I do a whole routine and then I do things throughout the day. I pray for the world. So the system is really built around being as excellent as I can be so I can be a model for other people to shine as well. And seems to be working.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Reggie.
That's why you my little brother.
Big brother.
One other thing, one system that since Reggie mentioned that I try to wake up every day with an attitude of gratitude. That before I drink my water in the morning, I'm very thankful. You know, you may have some bad points in the course of your day, but every day is a great day. So I start off thanking God for a great day. And like I said, once again, you can have some bad points in the day, but every day is a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. So for me, goals, I have plenty of goals, but I do concentrate on the systems, although I've never really thought about the word in just that I have to do something regularly towards these goals. And one of them is my daughter, which the members here know, who has cerebral palsy. Charles met Judah this past weekend, and one of my older son, and just today we went to the gym and she did her leg. What is it called? Leg weights? Is that what it is? You push forward. What is it called? Power
Leg extensions? No?
leg extensions, probably. Yeah. So she did 200 leg extensions, and for someone with cerebral palsy, I mean, it sounds like it's easy. No, it's not. And she takes her time and she rests and she goes on, and and then I do her breathings for her brain. Most people don't understand, but our brains in general need breathing, and these are systems that I didn't know that word before, that I have in place regularly because I want to make certain that she's walking very soon, very soon. And obviously, I do pray, I do visualize, I do see her walking, talking, free of convulsions, free of medications. And that's the way, that you do this. You can have a goal, but if you don't see it regularly, if you don't implement something to get you there on a daily basis, then you don't really have an investment in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And I've noticed that she's improving. She's improving. Why? Well, I have family members that give her sugar, and I'm against it, but they give it to her, and thank God she hasn't gotten a convulsion. So, we're doing something right. I mean, obviously, we have many more things that I could go into in depth, but the reality is, whatever you want, whatever goal you want, you got to have some type of system. I didn't know the word. You just have to do something to get you going regularly, daily, every other day, or so on. And that's what we're all trying to get to here. So I have one more question for Reggie and Chaz here is, now that you know what a goal or system that you have, what inconveniences have you come across, if any, while going through these, your goals or systems?
I'll go.
And
Well,
you can offer solution as well.
so it's gonna come down. So what I'll offer, because it touches on in the book, and I love that section of the book where it talked about feelings, and basically you rise to the level of your, you don't rise to the level of your dreams necessarily, and they use other terms or whatever, and it said, but you fall, or you only come to the level of your feelings, like something along those lines. So it's like the feelings, if you don't have something in place to power through the feelings could stop you, right? Because when you're going through life, you have goals, you have things that you're working towards. A lot of what's going on is, especially if you're not fortified where you need to be, and even if you are, you could be at a state and place where the mood is not always there, and emotions are certain emotions that are keeping you from moving. And so, I have had that a bit, but over time. But what I said to myself was, like, I have to get it done because I have a bigger accomplishment that needs to happen. And and it's not even just to get somewhere and be done, but it's just to show up every day in a certain way. So if I'm to show up a certain way in a certain way, then I can't keep stopping because I don't feel a certain way, because I'm not the most motivated today, or I'm feeling a little sad, a little down, or whatever. I just shake it. So for systems, what I've done, for example, if I feel a little something in terms of, like, let's say I feel a little sad about a situation, I give myself a little bit of time to kind of like absorb it. So it used to be even a little more, and it's like shrunk even smaller. I used to give myself maybe like 5 minutes, 5, 10 minutes, whatever it was. Now I'm down to just a minute or two, or even less, where I just, like, I feel it. I'm like, I got it, whatever. And then I just basically, as I use the word with a lot of things, just alchemize it, just turn it into something positive, or use it as like fuel. So everything for me is fuel. So I would go back to making that statement again around feelings and emotions and motivation and those things not always being there. And the system I have comes down to the fact of, like, I give myself a little bit of time to just process through that. But the overarching thing is that I have this goal to show up in the world each and every day a certain way, where I need to be a certain level of just like a leader, someone who's the go-to person, someone who's got strength, someone who's like showing the way, because I see a lot of things that I don't like in the world that I know could be better. So I'm like, you know what? Let me be the guy that's the difference maker. So I'm here to be an agent of change. So for me, it's like I need to keep going because the work is not done, and we go on until, and then we go on until, and we go on until. So
Very good. And that is definitely a reality, is that you have to go through, you have to plow through, because life is going to happen. And even if you have a system in place, you could have family, you could have business you're running, you could have, some emergency that can arise and take you off for a few days, a week or two, but you've got to get back on. I mean, the worst thing that you can do is completely forget
stop.
about what you're doing, but it's okay. I mean, it is bad to forget about it, but at the same time, life's gonna happen. It's happened to me, it's happened to Charles, and it's happened to Reggie. Is that at times we just have to move on and halt for a moment, because something's come up, and it's not about choosing. It's that we're here for the long game, and maybe next week we might not all be here to make a summary of a book, but eventually we are. So just like Apple is, they're in it for the long game. They might get some phones wrong, and they might get some phones correct. So we're gonna be here for the long run. Maybe one of us, maybe two of us, maybe 10 of us. We don't know. All we can tell you is that you can set your goals, you can set your system, but if all hell breaks loose, if you do get into this obstacle, you can still pray, you can still visualize, you can still do something, even if it's minimal, to get you ahead. And I've gone through it. Gentlemen, you have anything else to say before we sign off?
Just going to say, do it now, just what you said. The book talks about the power of doing it now. And if you fall off your horse, just like you were saying earlier before we came online, get back on it.
Yes.
You a lot of people focus. The book talks about you focusing on what happened, in the past. You don't have the past. The past is gone. You have now. And then a lot of people, they're too far in the future. Oh, tomorrow or next week. The thing is, create your system, create your goals, and start applying action now.
Thank you. Thank you, Chaz. Thank you, Reggie Hilliard. This is the Mastermind Book Club. I'm CEO David Diaz. Until next week, where we'll review another empowering book. Take care.